Let's talk about a really powerful idea from the Buddhist master Ajaan Chah. What if that deep sense of peace you might be looking for isn't something you have to build from scratch? What if it's already there, right under your feet, just waiting for you to find it?
Sometimes it feels like finding inner peace or wisdom is this huge, complicated project. Like we have to assemble this massive thing inside ourselves, piece by piece. But Ajahn Chah asks a different question. What if the truth isn't something you have to create at all? What if it's just something you have to uncover? And this is his core idea, his central metaphor. He says the Dhamma, which is really just the truth of how things are, is like groundwater. It's already there, deep in the earth. Now, when you dig a well, you don't invent the water, right? You just put in the hard work to dig down to where it already is. This totally flips the script. The spiritual path isn't about creating something new, it's about digging for something ancient. And this isn't just some abstract spiritual idea. Think about it this way. Imagine a fantastic school teacher. When that teacher passes away, does the knowledge of how to be a good teacher just vanish from the world? No, of course not. The principles, the methods, they're all still there, ready for the next person to learn and access them. The fundamental truths of our existence work the same way. They don't belong to any one person. They're always here, waiting for us. Okay, so that brings up a pretty big question, doesn't it? If this groundwater of truth is always there, right beneath the surface, why are so many of us walking around feeling so thirsty? Why do we feel so restless and disconnected? Well, let's get into the obstacles that are keeping us from that water. So, the first big obstacle is a habit we all fall into. Ajahn Chah tells this story about a jackal that has a terrible skin disease, mange. The poor animal is just constantly itchy and uncomfortable, so it runs from place to place. It sleeps in a bush, thinks, this bush is the problem, then runs to a tree hollow and thinks, nope, this tree hollow is making me miserable. And here's the punchline. The jackal's problem isn't the bush or the tree. It's the mange. It's the disease it carries with it everywhere it goes. For us, that mange is our wrong views, our own distorted ways of seeing the world. We think if we just change our job, or move to a new city, or find a new partner, then we'll be happy. But until we deal with the mange inside, that discomfort just follows us around. The second obstacle is a little different. It's that our minds are just too full. We walk through life with a cup that's already overflowing with our own opinions, our cleverness, our preconceived notions. We're so sure we've got it all figured out that there's simply no room for anything new to get in. I mean, it's just common sense, right? You can't pour fresh, clean water into a cup that's already filled to the brim with mud. It just makes a mess. If we really want to learn, to genuinely see the truth, we have to be willing to empty our cup. We have to set aside what we think we know to make some space for a clearer, more genuine understanding to actually find its way in.
So what does this difference really look like? Well, on the left here, you've got the untrained mind. It's like a single leaf getting thrashed around in the wind. When a good feeling comes, it gets completely swept up in it. When a bad feeling hits, it gets totally crushed by it. But look at the right side. A trained mind is more like oil and water in the same bottle. The thoughts and feelings are still there, for sure. But the core of your awareness, your heart, stays separate. It can observe what's happening without getting completely consumed by it.
All right, so we've seen why we're thirsty, and we know there's water down there. The big question is, how do we actually start digging? How do we build that well? The path Ajahn Chah lays out is actually incredibly practical. It all boils down to 3 basic stages. It's a path. First, you just start with the obvious stuff, your outward behavior. Then you learn to pull back a bit, to hold off on those unhelpful impulses. And finally, you just gotta build up the stamina and patience to keep at it. Step 1 is all about starting with your external behavior, your actions and your words. Ajahn Chah says it's like a carpenter who gets a rough, splintery piece of wood. You can't make a beautiful, smooth chair out of it without doing the hard work first. You've got to saw it, sand it, shape it. It's messy, it's coarse, but it's the absolutely necessary first step. Okay, step 2, restraint. I love this one. He says our negative mental habits, things like anger, greed, or anxiety, are like stray cats. If you keep putting out a bowl of milk for a stray cat, guess what? It's going to keep coming around. It's the same with our minds. If we keep feeding our anger by obsessing over resentful thoughts, it's just going to get stronger. But if we stop feeding it, if we stop giving it our energy, it eventually stops bothering us, and the mind can finally settle down. And last but not least, endurance. This is all about consistency. Think about trying to start a fire the old-fashioned way, by rubbing 2 sticks together. If you rub for 10 seconds, get tired, and take a break, all that warmth you just generated is gone. Poof. To actually get a flame, you need continuous, steady, patient effort. Little bursts of practice here and there just won't build the momentum you need for real insight to spark. So, after all this work, this patient, persistent digging, this shaping our actions, restraining our habits, and just sticking with it, what do we find? What's at the bottom of the well? Well, it's more than just a quick drink of water. It's about finding our way back home. We all have our external homes, right? Our houses, apartments, our jobs, even our relationships. And they're great, they're important, but they're also temporary. They can change. The real home, the one that's truly unshakable, is a state of inner peace. And you don't build that home by getting more stuff, but by learning how to let go. That deep, abiding peace, that's the groundwater we were digging for the whole time.
So if it's true, if this piece is already here, just waiting, then there's really only one question left that matters. What's the first shovel of dirt you're going to turn over today? What's one small, simple thing you can do right now to start digging?